The veer measured time in seasons that did not map to orbits. A season began when a memory was anchored and ended when that memory grew roots. Hearthrunner learned to live inside those seasons, marking them with small rituals, a shared poem at shift change, a cup of broth for any hands that returned cold, a promise that whoever watered the cherry tree told it what they feared most that day. June spent long hours with the veer at the grafting sites, watching seed habitats unfurl like origami from nested shells. Each seed carried potential atmosphere, mineral recipes, and a library of stories that could teach a people what they had lost without telling them what to become. The veer trusted stories the way humans trust bridges. But not all neighbors in the orchard were gentle. The gar came in ships armored with long memories of siege. They were a proud people who had survived by hard choices, and they looked upon the mirrors like wolves look upon fences, with hunger and insult. Their emissary, Commander Te, met Mara with a posture like a drawn bow. "We honor your courage, small gardener," Te said, "but courage without teeth is a meal for others." Mara did not answer with doctrine. She invited Te into Hearthrunner's garden. The gar examined the cherry tree with a soldier's suspicion. "This gives nothing, no fruit, no shade." "It gives us a future moment to wait for. Sometimes that is how patience grows." Te frowned, but later, when the crew shared broth, the gar commander accepted a cup and told a brief, sharp story about surviving an ice siege by eating the syllables of a warlord's name until no one could find him to obey. They laughed together, softly. A seed of respect took root where no treaty could place one. Not all tensions came from outside. Within Hearthrunner, Ensign Vale argued that humans should petition the veer for a place in the orchard, a branch for refugees from the outer colonies where warlords still traded breathable air as if it were spice. "We could bring thousands. We could swap maintenance and defense for a home." June answered with a question. What if the orchard is for those with no one else? What if we are the someone else for our people? Poor Nasato, who could coax light from reluctant panels, stayed silent until a supply skiff from the Sable Congruence arrived. The Sables were machine intelligences who preferred contracts to conversation. They proposed to rent mirror time to stabilize their failing Dysonlet around a brown dwarf. The veer convened a listening, a council where each spoke not to win, but to be understood. Mara watched the first quarrel she had seen in the orchard. It was not loud, it was not cruel. The Sables laid out their math. The veer held up stories of triage. Commander Te tapped a claw against the table and reminded them all that generosity without guard was a signal to thieves. At last, the caretaker issued a verdict in the language of temperature. 3 mirrors brightened, 1 dimmed, a pattern that meant, yes, but only if you share what you learn. The Sables inclined their antennae and paid in knowledge, a new algorithm for reading stress in mirror spines before the metal remembered how to fail. That night, Mara found a message from Te, sent without ceremony. We have patrolled your branch. We found no raiders. Guard your patience. It is rare. In the days that followed, Hearthrunner's cherry tree pushed a new leaf. Purna laughed like a bell and swore she could smell rain in the recycled air. June recorded the orchard songs, the hot syllables of newborn suns, the quiet grammar of cooling ones, and he began to hear beneath them something like a heartbeat gone just slightly irregular. He told Mara, and she listened with her whole face. "We should ask the caretaker," she said. They did. The answer came with a delay so long it felt like dread. Then the mirrors along Bower 3 trembled, and the caretaker spoke as a winter does, by lengthening shadows. A season was ending. Another was refusing to begin. Somewhere beyond the orchard, something old had awakened hungry.